As human beings, we can be so divisive. Pineapple on pizza, Marmite, Brexit. These are subjects that have divided friends and strangers alike for ages. But if there's one subject that has truly divided the car community, it's the Porsche 996, especially when it comes to the design of its headlights. Those fried egg headlights became the focal point of heated discussions with purists and modernists alike, weighing in on whether the 996 was a step forward or a step too far. For years, the 996 was the black sheep of the 911 family. But the question remains, are people still divided on the design, or have we finally come to appreciate it as one of the most beautiful 911s ever made? I personally used to be in the no camp when it came to the 996. When I was looking for a car, I didn't even consider the 996. I wanted something more modern. That is, until I spent a day filming this car. This is when everything changed for me. Spending a day filming this car, experiencing its performance, its quirks, and its desirable charm, my love for the 996 began. So with that being said, I think we need to take a deep dive into the 996 history and its most controversial aspects. Is the 996 truly the most beautiful 911 ever made, or does it still stand as a point of division amongst enthusiasts? My name's Trevor Joseph, you're watching Rolling Slow Media. This is the 996. So, for some context, 1997 brought us Teletubbies, Pokemon, a scandal in the White House, and the tragic passing of Princess Diana. It was also the year that marked the beginning of a new chapter for Porsche with the introduction of the 996. Produced from 1997 to 2005, the Porsche 996 represented a significant shift for the brand, transitioning the 911 into a new era. During its production run, Porsche built approximately 175,000 units, making the 996 one of the most commercially successful 911s of its time, and significantly increasing production volumes compared to previous generations. What set the 996 apart was that it was the first 911 to be completely redesigned from the ground up, rather than being an evolution of its predecessor. The 996 was the first 911 to offer Porsche Stability Management, PSM, as an option. This electronic stability control system helped improve the car's safety and drivability, especially in challenging conditions. The 996 was the first 911 to feature the Tiptronic gearbox, catering to a broader audience of drivers. The 996 replaced the beloved and one of the most beautiful 911s, the 993, the final iteration of the air-cooled 911s. The 993 was a culmination of 3 decades of evolution, and it left some big shoes to fill. One of the most controversial aspects of the 996 was the decision to move from an air-cooled engine to a water-cooled engine. This was a seismic shift in Porsche's engineering philosophy. So why did they make this change? Water cooling allowed for more power and better temperature management, paving the way for future performance improvements. Porsche was in dire financial trouble in the 1990s. The 996 was more than just a new model, it was a lifeline. Porsche needed to reduce production costs just to stay afloat. But by sharing parts with the Porsche Boxster and implementing more modern production techniques, Porsche was able to significantly reduce the cost and increase profitability. The 996 was designed by car designer Pinky Lai. It featured a more streamlined design, but the most controversial aspect of the design was the fried egg headlights. Pinky Lai's design was bold and moved away from the round headlights which had defined the 911 for many generations. Porsche updated the headlight design in 2002 with the Dot 2 version of the 996. It also shared this with the Carrera 4S and the Turbo. The new headlights had a sleeker look, which addressed some of the criticisms which plagued the original design of the 996 headlight. But purists still weren't happy with the design. You can't please everybody. The 996 came in various flavors, from the standard Carrera to the Turbo, but it wasn't until they introduced the GT3, the GT3 RS, and the GT2 that got everybody's attention. The GT3 model offered track-focused performance, a high-revving, naturally aspirated engine, stiffer suspension, sharper handling. This car was purely a track car for the road, or a road car for the track. In 2005, the 997 replaced the 996, bringing back some of the classic design elements while improving on the 996 foundation. The 997 was seen as a return to form for Porsche, but it also made enthusiasts look back at the 996 with a newfound appreciation. The 996 has become a favourite within the Porsche community for modifications. From performance upgrades to cosmetic changes, owners have embraced the 996 as a platform to express their own individuality. This one belongs to my good friend Tim, and you can see that this car is no longer standard. And when I talk about individuality, this car has been fitted with 18-inch BBS split rims, the GT3 front and rear bumpers. It's been lowered. This car has such a brilliant stance, and this is an example of what enthusiasts have been doing with these cars. Some have even opted to replace the fried egg headlights with the 997 headlights. But here's a fun fact, guys. Porsche used the same design on their GT1 Le Mans winning race car. So there's a nice lineage to the racetrack for the 996. Second-hand prices for the 996 are also quite appealing, especially when you consider the performance. The base model offers 296 brake horsepower at 6,800 RPM and can go from 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. That's hot hatch territory for today. And you think about it, that's a car that was produced in 1997, and hot hatches are just producing that sort of power now. Prices vary depending on model and condition, but you can often find a solid 996 Carrera for a fraction of the price of a new one. But be aware, the 996 is infamous for its intermediate shaft bearing failure, or IMS, and bore score issues in some early models. While this was a sore point, it led to a thriving aftermarket industry for upgrades and preventative maintenance solutions. The 996 is often seen as the perfect first 911. It's modern enough to daily drive while still retaining the analog feel that 911s are known for. It's relatively affordable, reliable, and offers a wide range of variants to suit different driving preferences. So, what does the future hold for the 996? Who knows? But if you look at the recent popularity of the 964 and the 993 within the resto mod space, I wouldn't rule out the fact that the next car to get the resto mod treatment will be the 996. There's already concept art floating about online, and it's looking quite promising. So has the 996 moved away from its polarizing beginnings, and is it now recognized as one of the most beautiful and influential 911s? I'll leave that for you to decide. But one thing is clear, the 996 has earned its place in Porsche history. So what do you think? Is the 996 the most beautiful 911, or does the design still divide opinions? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're still in the no camp, I've got an idea. Spend a day with one of these cars. Take it for a drive. Go as a passenger. Maybe, just maybe, you might reconsider. My name's Trevor Joseph, you've been watching Rolling Slow Media, and this is the Porsche 996.